Okay. Affordable housing and zoning. When I was an editor in Boulder, I used to rail against Boulder. Boulder had some of the most exclusive zoning and regulations, housing regulations in the state or in the country even. This was all about the environment and everything, and it was sort of anti-density. And yet it talked, people there generally valued diversity. They talked about it a lot, but this was sort of anti-diversity. Now I see that you are imposing on localities. You're trying to eliminate some of those kinds of restrictions that Boulder was famous for.
Yeah, I think, and the framing is not right. We're not imposing anything. We are trying to prevent government from imposing requirements on homeowners and property owners, right? Let's say you're a property owner. You own your house, right? It is not the government's authority to tell you what you do with that house. Imagine if the government was telling you what bed to buy, what dishwasher to have, right? It is your right. It is your land. We get that, yeah, there are things that are, neighborhood issues like height limits. We're not doing anything against height limits. If a neighborhood, a city wants to say it's 3 stories, that's it. Totally fine with that. But beyond that, your government is infringing on your rights if they say you can't add another wing to your house on your property, you can't add an accessory dwelling unit, you can't rent out part of your house to somebody else. These are not decisions for any level of government to make. They're decisions for individual property owners.
And the people who oppose you on that, I certainly get your argument on that. People who oppose you say, well, you're imposing on local control.
Yeah, we are trying to prevent government at any level from overreaching. I think government is government. Local, state, federal,
Sure.
They all overreach. It doesn't matter. Maybe you're even more annoyed if the federal government overreaches, but I'm just as annoyed if my mayor or city council overreach, right? They all can overreach. So how do we better protect property owners and say on your property, you can do what you want to do? Now, again, if it truly affects your neighbors, we're not saying run a store with traffic coming in a residential area, but if you're running a home business and you're not having people come to and from your home business like you are here, your city should not be able to shut you down. I hope Colorado Springs isn't listening. You might be running a home business here. This is a studio in your home. But that is not the city's business, right? Like what you do on your own property.
Sure. And this is Monument, and we're in what used to be an ADU. And they don't have any problem with that.
Good.
So,
that's wonderful.
Yeah, just outside of Colorado
Historically,
Springs.
some cities have They've said that people can't they run home businesses. And you know what winds up happening is, of course, people do it anyway because nobody really knows, but then they're technically running afoul of their mortgage covenant, their insurance. They're causing all sorts of risk for themselves because what they're doing is somewhat extra legal because of an onerous local government that infringes on their rights.